Rob.
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we are taking a look at, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm behind a camera again, so I'm getting the camera set up. I've got to get a proper stand for this, but I wanted to get to the action figure reviews, so we're going to get back into a process here, so be with me. But today we're taking a look at the brand new DC Comics Multiverse from Mattel. And I have reviewed a few of these already. It's probably been about a year ago, if you can believe it or not. But this line just officially hit store shelves this past week in my area, depending on when you're watching this. This is October 7th, so the last part of the month of September, this particular line of action figures started hitting. So this is a Walmart exclusive. So I know some people are kind of complaining about it, but it sounds like Toys R Us could be coming back. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We'll figure out all that as we go. But right now, Harley Quinn and Spoiler, who we're looking at here, I did pick up Harley Quinn, are Walmart exclusives. So for the most part, I think everybody should be able to get a hold of these. I know there's going to be some people outside of the country that may not have Walmarts. I know some countries have an Asda, which is like a Walmart sister parent company. So it's going to be hit or miss. I think for most people, if you have any friends in the States, these come 6 to a box. So there are 3 Spoilers and 3 Harley Quinns. So I think that these are going to become peg warmers, unfortunately, for a while, just because in this particular wave there are only 2 exclusive figures. Now, if that is how they are doing their exclusive figures, I think that is a really good idea, that there's an equal amount of both figures for both Harley Quinn and Spoiler. So if you have any friends in the States or people that are saying, well, I'm just going to resort to buying on eBay, don't buy on eBay. You're going to pay more for them on eBay than what you will if you just wait for your local Walmart. So things usually happen out in the West Coast first. California starts getting them, and then it moves across the U.S. So eventually they wound up here. And I almost paid $23 for the figure. That included shipping, which would have been pretty good, but somebody just wanted it for the collect and connect and was going to sell the figure off. So I just kept telling myself, just wait, even though I am not going to use this collect and connect piece. And don't ask, I'm sending it to a friend of mine that definitely is going to, Stu Murray 47. So I thought, I just want to get the figure and I want to pay for it for what it's worth. So that's the long intro. Don't kill yourself trying to get this figure. You're going to be able to find it in most all Walmarts. I should say most. If I say every Walmart, somebody's going to say, well, I never got them. Mine do get slow from time to time. I know right now when I bought these, only one of my local Walmarts had them out of the 4 that I was at. So the Walmart I got these 2 figures from, which Harley Quinn will be next, didn't have the Aquaman figures, but the other Walmart did have the Aquaman figures. So I figure it's a matter of somebody going back to the receiving docks and picking them off. Okay, enough chatting. It's been a while since I've done a review, so I feel like I'm just going da-da-da-da. So, the brand new packaging that most of us have seen, and the distributing for these figures is hit or miss. I'm just hoping Mattel is going to get better. So there is a image of the Detective Comics run of Spoiler, which actually this image technically comes from Batman Eternal, where this particular image is from, but it is for essentially James Tynion's Detective Comics run. And there she is here, my signed issue by James Tynion. So they're going through so far and making the Detective Comics list of characters. So far we already have Batman, which I reviewed. I have Batwoman. I did not review her at my time that I was off. I will be showing her. And if you want to see her review, then I will go back through and do her review, and I do still have her box. And Clayface is the collect and connect for the, not this particular wave, but there's a Clayface connect and connect wave where Batwoman comes from, and more on that later. So, let's take a look at the rest of the package again. There's the side art on that side, same as the side art there. And here are some people are wondering, well, what is this wave? There is a small read-up of the character up here at the very top in a couple different languages. It says, recruited by Batwoman into boot camp, the Violent Vindicator, wow, I've never heard her call that. The Violent Vindicator joins forces with the top heroes in Gotham, again, from the James Tynion Detective Comics Rebirth run. The figures in this wave, and the 2 Walmart exclusives are up here, would be Spoiler and Harley Quinn. So they have accessories for the Collected Connect of Lex Luthor Superman. So Harley's is the head of the alternate head of Lex Luthor. So we have the Ray, Simon Baz, which I definitely plan on getting. Vixen, was never a big Vixen fan. The Ray is going to be a skip for me. The Rebirth Wonder Woman, I would definitely like to pick her up. I really like Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I might pass on that figure. I might end up picking it up to go with the trade I just recently bought. So the ones in this that I'm planning on picking up are potentially Batman, Wonder Woman, and Simon Baz. So somebody could say, Rob, that's only 2 figures and I've bought everything else. There are going to be more figures throughout the Multiverse line that I'm really going to want more than the Ray and Vixen. And if I can save myself on buying at least 2 figures, that's going to be better for me in the long run. So that is enough rambling. Let's get the spoiler out of package and we will be right back. Alright, we've got Spoiler out of package, and what a cool figure. Now, I believe she's on a more of a standard DC-UC body buck, so some of the new features that are on these figures, I think like this is kind of like phase 1 or phase 2 of them doing these figures. So I'm not going to be taking points off like, oh, there's no ankle hinge, or there's no pivot this, that, or the other. I think those things are coming, but now that I'm looking at this figure a little bit closer here, that I have her out of package, maybe I'm seeing some more of those things here, but I think she looks great, and I'm just happy to have a Spoiler figure. The only other Stephanie Brown figure that has been made is the Batman Incorporated Batgirl Stephanie Brown figure. Actually, that's Batman Reborn, if I remember that correctly, not Batman Incorporated. So this is a first to have a Spoiler figure. So I can't believe all these years from reading the Robin comics, seeing Stephanie Brown, that we're finally getting a Spoiler figure. And what a cool figure this is. She stands very well. No loose anything on this figure, which I think is a huge plus, getting Mattel, kind of fired back up and running on all cylinders again. I'm not sure if the 4 Horsemen have sculpted this or not. I'll have to take a look at the package a little bit closer, and I'm kind of giving a quick glance here. I think they might have. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. That's not the important thing. The important thing is we're taking a look at Spoiler. So she does come with these 2, with this baton thing. Now, it's flexible enough, but I'm afraid over time that these aren't real chains here. I'm afraid over time that they're going to come a little baggy, not baggy, but kind of wear off. So I've thought about trying to find some chain of my own and just make them so it's an actual chained thing. But they do bend. You can get them in different poses to be able to work with the figure. So that's not so bad. So I might not go that route to do that. So like I said, she does come with 1 accessory, and that is the head, if I don't drop it, of Lex Luthor. There we go, focus. Which almost looks like Darkseid a little bit, but I believe it obviously is the head off. Yeah, can't talk. The alternate head for Lex Luthor. I think he just got his brow furrowed here a little bit. So this is going to my buddy Stu Murray 47 to help him out, since he said there are no figures in this wave that he wants, so it's going to come from some of us other rogues picking these up to see if we can't get him this Lex Luthor. But the main reason I bought the figure, obviously, is for spoiler. Let's focus on her a little bit there. What a great looking figure. Paint apps are flawless on the figure. I don't believe she has any wonky eyes at all. I think they look good. And they actually look a little piercing, like she's ready for battle. I love the strands of blonde hair that are coming out here. It would have been cool, rather than have this, I would have rather had an alternate head for Stephanie Brown. So there's some other DC UC figures. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at you. A Wonder Girl, Cassie, you could probably do a head swap. I'm not going to. But it looks like back here that they might have gone for an alternate head, like she has pulled her hood back. So they've got it kind of ruffled back. So I wonder if one time maybe they were going to give an alternate head, because they are doing that with some characters, like the Red Hood. When he eventually comes out, he's going to have an interchangeable head, hood on, hood off type deal. But the hood does not get in the way at all of the character's mobility. There isn't a whole lot of range of motion in it, so she can't look up or down much at all. So you're going to have to get that from the ab crunch, which again is more like a bust crunch in this case. So the strap that's going across here up to the back, and it's more her, pardon the expression, but her boobs are kind of getting in the way. She can come down a little bit, but just because her bust line is there, it is kind of hindering just a little bit. The arms go all the way around, not hindered by anything on the traditional ball and socket from Mattel. There's a bicep swivel, single bend at the elbow. There is a rotation at the elbow, a twist at the wrist, a hinge at the wrist. It's not a big hinge, but it's slight. I think it's due to the gauntlets here. The inverted T-jointed legs, most of the time from DCUC, we would have the T-joint out here. It's just inverted on the inside. Legs don't go back much at all. They go forward very well. So any of you people out there that have a Batmobile or a bike of some type, she could sit on it. And I do have a bike somewhere. I don't have it with me up here in this room at the moment, but I could put her on a spoiler type cycle. There's a single, well, let's get a little lower here. There's a thigh cut and a single bend at the knee, which I know some people are probably going, boo, hiss. Just getting them started, I'm okay. I think you could easily do a double jointed knee. The double jointed elbow probably could have worked for her for a little posability. There is an ankle hinge, which I had just noticed right when I got her out of package. So I said, oh, I think I see some things that are new on the figure, and then there's an ankle pivot. So that's big for Mattel in a female figure that they went this far. So maybe they're kind of trying things out a little bit to kind of see how this is all going to work. The belt, I think, is also really nice, and it's sculpted all the way around. The pouch that's right here is a sculpted piece. This one is not. It's painted on the costume. So they got the costume 100% accurate to how she is in Detective Comics and then in Batman Eternal, where this costume first made its appearance. And then she was also in Batman and Robin Eternal as well. Very, very cool figure. So even though he hasn't been made yet, I'm going to bring up the DCUC Tim Drake. So he is a little shorter than Stephanie. So they are going to rectify that. We are going to get a Rebirth Red Robin figure, which is essentially going to be this guy right here. So at least for now, I'll be able to pose the two together. And this is the first time that I'm going to show this on camera. I have been working on a custom Rebirth Red Robin figure, which is closer into the height, although this is a little bit bigger. Body buck, this is the Arkham City Mattel figure that was a Joker 2-pack. And here is Roy Harper's Young Justice head. Now that I know that we are getting, I knew if I started this custom, I was going to get one from Mattel. So I may repaint the hair and the mask on this figure and give Roy Harper his head back. So this would be setting down a little bit, so you can kind of sort of get what I'm going to go with here. I'd have to bore his head out just a little bit more to get the ball peg, since this is a bigger ball peg. So this just may go in a box for a time being. Maybe I'll get around to it, but now knowing I'm going to get a proper Rebirth Red Robin figure, Tim Drake, to go with my Stephanie Brown, I'm not jumping up and down, but you can kind of imagine the two here. So I knew it would happen. I told Automatica and Stu Murray 47 and Chapman Films and ODC, that's me, like, I'm going to do this custom, but you watch, we'll get a Mattel figure, a proper one, but if I don't do it, we're never going to get one. So I'm glad I made it. So something else I would like to bring up here, let's bring up the rest of the Gotham Knights, as they are called, that Mattel has released so far that I have. Alright, here are the Gotham Knights that have been released so far. Again, that's what they refer to themselves in the comic book. We have Batman from last year. We have Batwoman that's falling here into Clayface, and I'll get into him in just a moment. There is Batwoman from the Clayface line and Stephanie Brown. And, of course, there is Clayface, but as you can tell, he's missing the bottom part of his legs. So I need Jessica Cruz from that line to be able to complete Clayface, and she is getting really, really hard to find. I saw her in a comic shop when we were on vacation, and they had her for $35. And I was like, man, I don't know if I want to pay $35 just for one figure. I mean, I've done it before. I keep telling myself they're going to hit, and now we're on to this new wave. So I may just have to bite the bullet and buy Jessica Cruz. I mean, I really want the Jessica Cruz figure, but if I could do a trade with somebody somewhere for some other Collect and Connect parts that they have and just get Clayface, I really want Clayface. I mean, I want Jessica Cruz to go in my Rebirth collection, but right now I would settle for the legs of Clayface. So I'm really happy that they are continuing, Mattel's continuing to put out figures, and that we're getting farther and farther in this line. So we know from this picture so far, we've got Batman, Batwoman, Clayface, and now, spoiler, coming soon is Red Robin. That leaves just Cassandra Cain, Orphan. And I also have Batwing, which at the time of this review, I just left him downstairs. I can't believe I forgot to bring him up here. He is also in this storyline, as is Azrael. But the main core of the team was Red Robin, Batman, Batwoman, Orphan, and spoiler, and Clayface. So if we don't get Cassandra Cain, I'll be a little disappointed in it, but at least getting Red Robin, I will feel that this team is mostly complete. I'd like to think that we're going to get Cassandra Cain at some point. But anyway, since this is the first review I've done in a while, I know I've done a little bit of chatting, but hopefully you've enjoyed this. Today we've been taking a look at the Walmart exclusive DC Comics Multiverse lane. It is spoiler. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off, saying we will see you guys definitely next time. We'll be back. Harley Quinn will be up next. Stay tuned.